Dan RadioStyle, hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. A lot of things are going on in our world right now, and a lot of us are trying to manifest things that even maybe seem outlandish, crazy, or possibly out there a little ways. And I think there's a lot of great things to talk about right now because, frankly, I think right now is probably one of the best times to make a change. Right now is one of the best times to look at seeing how things might be different. Right now is a perfect time to maybe see some of these obstacles we had in our minds differently. Right now is a time to look at all of our manifestation woes, wobbles, and wiggles a little bit differently. Here's what I'm talking about. Let's have some fun with this conversation. But obviously, in today's day and age, eventually society is going to move forward. Maybe we're wearing face masks and face shields for the next 30 years, whatever. But whatever the case is, life is going to move forward at some point, and we're going to learn how to interact by touching elbows, or we're going to grow little thumbs out of our elbows, which then we'll figure out some way to touch our face with our elbow, and then we'll still spread it somehow. So then now we've got a new problem, but let's save that for another show. We're going to move forward. And in that process, we have this chance to start our lives over for a large part. Some people are straight up out of work. Some people are now working from home when they maybe didn't before. Some of us are still doing the same thing, but getting different responsibilities because of how things have played out. Situations have changed. Companies are looking at things differently. Automation is something that a lot of companies have looked at. Manufacturing, to some degree, from what I've heard, because of all these problems around where we get certain drugs and all these different things, right? Like all this manufacturing questions are coming into play. So some manufacturing for sure is coming into other parts and probably our country as well. Things are changing. Jobs are changing. Job structures are changing. What jobs can be done at home are changing. What you actually need a person to be a customer service window for is changing. A lot of stuff is being done online and then shipped. We've got a lot of people that are now driving and doing shipping, doing extra deliveries for companies right now with their own cars. There are all these different ways to basically become 1099 employees as far as what it's like in the United States here, where you're a contractor essentially, right? And someone just pays you a flat rate to do something, and then you worry about taxes and unemployment and those kinds of things, even though, So you've got these concepts going on. The world is changing. Now, let's think of it from a relationship standpoint. We've got a lot of places in our life where maybe certain people were upset with us. Maybe we've made some mistakes. We're having a harder time revising it, or at least we had been revising it in our minds, or how they could possibly forgive us, right? The whole concept where some of us get stuck, maybe never had a chance to meet them yet, or only bumped into them a couple times, but haven't really had that chance to talk to them. All those kinds of situations where we used to sit back and you go, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to do this. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to have the courage. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. One of the cool things about 40 days, 50 days, however long of not seeing people, of disappearing and not having some of these special people that maybe we even took for granted coming in and out of our lives. We start to look at things differently, don't we? We start to look at the way we feel about people differently. Whether we hate them for some mistake they made, or maybe I could have forgiven them because I freaking miss them. I was just shooting my buddies a text today. I'm like, God, I miss you guys. Like, first off, for a dude to say that, we're all kind of a little weird, but whatever. It's just, I love you guys. I miss you guys. What the frick? And so it is one of those things where things are going to be viewed through a new lens, through a lens of, I haven't seen you in a long time. I thought maybe you were sick. I was worried about you, actually. Now when we're thought transmitting to others that we care about, the energy that's coming to us is a lot more pure right now because there's not as many distractions. For those of you that are wanting to communicate with a specific person, thought transmissions are amazing things to consider. If you think about them, when you consider creating that connection with them, how you're feeling is being projected. That's what the transmission is. I consider you create like a connection, a thought bridge, if you will, and everything you're feeling kind of goes to them. And so when you're thinking about them, when you're feeling about them, when you're imagining a situation, you will impart those energies to these individuals. And since right now in our lives, there's so much not going on, the distractions that once were there are not anymore. things have changed and they will experience you. They will oftentimes connect with you. Right now is an amazing time for all of us to consider the way our manifestations are moving forward. You're trying to get a different job. You've been wanting to move into some different direction in your life. Now is the time. Right now, we're going through this elongated period of time. You want to change a habit, it takes 28 days, they say. It's whatever, plus or minus, but 28 days, 4 weeks to change a habit. So right now, we're locked inside for 40 days-ish. I just keep using the word because I think it's such a significant word. And the time of the season where this was occurring was interesting too. So that being said, we've got this extended period of time where we're definitely over 28 days and we can change habits. What was that thing that you've been wanting to do and haven't been able to? What was that job that you wanted to do but haven't been able to? What was that thing that you wish you could do if only you had a different kind of work? Then you would do it. Because right now are the times to consider doing those things. Maybe you want to be your own 1099 employee and do your own little, pick up, deliver, all these different applications that are out there right now, groceries. I mean, they're all over the place. And it's a really noble thing to be able to help people out. You're using your car for good terms, right? And gas is super cheap right now. So a lot of positive things work around that. And then what that does is that allows you the ability to focus on something else or maybe make a little extra money so you can buy that extra laptop that you need. Whatever the case is, now is the time to definitely make the plans for what's going to happen the second the starting gate breaks, the second the guy out there goes right and pulls the little thingy, the cap gun, and you go running off down the race again. This time, you're prepared. This time, you're ready. This time, you know what you're doing. This time, you realize things can and are different. They're different in your mind. It's different in their mind. This is the time to believe in change. This is the time to do that thing that you've thought and wanted to do for a long time. Now's the time to do that. Dan, RadioStyle.